Season 6, Episode 1 starts today. Hello and welcome to another season of the BuildASoil YouTube series. And we're actually gonna prolong this a little bit because we're gonna start Season 6 in January. And we decided, with that much time, let's run a pack of autoflowers between runs. Let's really plan the 10 by 10 for Season 6 out so that we can share the plan with you. And our hopes with that is that maybe we can grow the same seeds together. So we're gonna be growing some Strawberry Deluxe from Dominion Seed Company in the 10 by 10 series. And that's gonna be, those seeds will be popped probably January 12th through 15th, somewhere in that range, and I will update you as we go. And we're gonna make available, or he's gonna make available, some feminized, like 3 seed packs, small amounts. You can get multiples so that if someone wants to just pop a seed, or 2 or 3 or more, they can grow the exact same thing along with me, so that should be really fun. But today's episode, what it's about is starting some autoflower seeds. So I've got NIGHTOWL seeds, I've got the Strawberry Cheesequake. So I'll hold up there for you. I've got the camera on a tripod today. I'll do everything here and then I will show you what I've got going on because I've actually got a setup. We're gonna do the entire grow in this 4x4 tent for 2 autoflowers. And I'm really excited about it because in Season 5, we really neglected the autoflowers, but it was the middle of summer, it was hot out, and I had to shut the lights down during the middle of the day, and that really disabled me from getting in there as much as I needed to and filming properly, and so didn't do a good job. This time, we're gonna do a good job, all right? So thanks, Daz. Strawberry Cheesequake is Strawberry Milk and Cookies S1. It's the cheesy fruit pheno. So I like cheesiness, I like funk. We'll see what happens. Last time, the Strawberry Milk and Cookies was really, really good. So if anybody's grown this one, it looks like a tester pack. Let me know, give me some feedback. I'm excited about it. And then I'm gonna pop them in the new Cocoa Coin from Charcore. And we've been testing these. I've rooted a whole bunch of clones in them and already gave away. I popped seeds in them. I'm really a big fan of the Cocoa Coin from Charcore. The reason why we went with these is that we wanted to go away from the rooting pucks that never break down in the soil. And the ones we were using before, they stopped making them, so we went on the hunt, found this product, and one of the things that I never thought about was starting seeds. I was looking for cloning, but these are so good for starting seeds, especially with an autoflower, because we don't want to stunt the growth of an autoflower. And so transplanting has become sort of an issue. Most people want to directly transplant autoflower seeds. So before I get into all the details, let me just give you the rundown on what we're doing, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of education, but most of this Season 1 video is just to announce the plan, and we're actually gonna pop the seeds today. So I'm gonna open this, I'm gonna soak them in here. In fact, while these are soaking, I'll give you the rundown. Okay. So you can see what they look like, the Cocoa Coin. It's got a really nice pre-drilled hole in it, but for popping seeds, I don't really wanna use that, so I'll show you what I do. Let's see how many seeds that we actually have in this pack, in the Strawberry Cheesequake. All right, so it looks like I got 5. And so 5 seeds, I'm gonna make sure I pop all 5 so that we for sure have 2 of the most vigorous ones to run in here. And then what I'll do is I'll either give the rest away or maybe I'll take them home, and I'm not really sure if we get 100% germination. But I like to make sure that I have my minimum. So I'm gonna pop all of them. Instead of putting the seeds in the water, I'm just gonna put the seeds directly in here. I'm just gonna soak these. So I've got a 1 gallon just clear jar so I can show you what they look like. That's all I'm gonna do is just drop them in there. While those are absorbing right now, they're gonna quickly absorb water like a Jiffy Puck, but these are coconut core, they're a lot better. So, Season 6, besides the autoflowers, which we wanna run, we're not gonna run autoflowers during the main season. That way we can really focus. And the focus is twofold. One, we wanted to do 2 4x4 runs, one with autoflowers and one with photoperiod plants, so we can really dedicate a run on YouTube to what it would look like if you're gonna grow in a 4x4 or a 5x5 tent. When I first started, if you want to go to our Instagram, there's like 10 years worth of 4x4 tent grows, because for years, all we would put in the BuildASoil shop right when you walked in was a 4x4 grow tent. And then I did side-by-side 4x4s. And the idea was to teach you how you'd grow at home. But eventually, we got the idea of doing the 10x10s so that I could run multiple scenarios all at once. And what I found happened was, yes, we can run multiple scenarios, but a lot of people saw the 10x10 as this untouchable thing that I had that they didn't have that made it easier. And I feel like the 4x4s were just as easy. Maybe not quite as easy to get the yield, right? We have overlapping light, and the 10x10 really is 5x5 areas. And if you do the math, 4x4 is 16 square feet, 5x5 is 25. Significant difference. So you could call it a 4x4 area in there, but when you say per light, the yield, a lot of these guys are running like a 6x6 area, not a 4x4 grow tent. So It'll be exciting to document the yield numbers, show you all of the challenges that we have, go over the environment, the light. We also have an oscillating fan. We have on top, we have an exhaust. We're gonna reset that all up. We're gonna discuss the parameters. We're gonna teach you from scratch while we're doing this autoflower run, just like it's a brand new grow. So for today, all we have set up is the tent, which there's instructions with the tent. They're pretty easy to set up and we've done videos on it, so you can look at that. But once you build the tent, the next thing is the grow light. This is a High Grove Magnolia 4. Those are available at BuildASoil.com. I love the light. There's lots of good LEDs on the market, but we're gonna run an LED light by High Grove, the Magnolia, and I'm gonna have it on its lowest setting. That's its highest. I'm gonna go to its lowest setting, and that's all that's gonna be in the tent because none of it matters right now. In the next couple of episodes, we're gonna teach you setting up exhaust and the humidity and every detail to get the environment right. But the reason why I say it doesn't matter is today we're gonna cheat. The whole environment's gonna be inside this dome. So we're gonna pop the seeds in here, which means the airflow, the humidity, like none of that really matters right now. And that buys me a day or two to get this going because I wanna transplant the autoflowers as soon as they pop. I don't wanna wait at all. I don't want them to get root bound because autoflowers can trigger into flower and it really stunts their rapid growth. Like it can change the trajectory of where they're headed if you stunt them at all. And it's actually in that vein, I wanted to discuss some other things. So first off, you can see these are all expanded now. It's that easy. They hold all the material. You don't have to like individually soak them. I just drop them in a bucket and they're perfect. The other thing I learned was that when I did the cloning with these, I never had to adjust the moisture once and I got really good root strike. So the idea is here, I'm just gonna put the seed in and literally I'm not gonna touch them. That means that I won't be overwatering, underwatering, or any of those finicky things. Now, we have a seedling soil. For years, I only popped seeds in BuildASoil Light or right in 3.0. So I don't really think we need a seedling soil. The seedling soil from BuildASoil.com was designed for people to fill up the trays. Like this tray right here. A lot of people that are growing vegetable seeds, they would want to fill up 50 cells, 72 cell, and even larger cell count, so small cells. They'd want to fill it with a soil that was very lightweight and easy to carry and would hold moisture evenly. And so we designed the seedling soil really for that. I've used it and I like it, but I like to get into a regular soil as soon as possible. And when it comes to autoflowers, I don't want a new grower to ever have a problem because they popped directly into the soil. And there's, you know, all the life in the soil, in living soil. And sometimes that can take a seed. Some for nature, some for us. But when you have a few seeds and you paid good money for them and they're feminized and you really want them to pop, I think that leveling the playing field and using something that is clean and easy to use makes it so that it's safe as far as triggering them. And then the roots really easily grow through this paper. Some people were asking about that, like really easy. So I'm just gonna immediately transplant into the auto pot. So we're gonna run auto pots this time. And if you're not familiar with what that is, I'll just kind of hold it up. It's basically just a base that you put your fabric pot in. And so I have a fabric pot right here. I'll show you what it looks like. Just a regular fabric pot, okay? And that's gonna just sit in here. And then when I'm done shooting this video, I'm gonna move the cart out of the way and I'll show you, I have one full of soil right now from the last round. And you can see in season 5 on our YouTube series, we actually grew in one of these and it did really well, which is why I'm doing it again. And so what happens is it actually fills the water using this that goes to a reservoir and there's a float valve. And this lets the water in. And so it's gonna be automatically watered, sub-irrigated the entire time, which will make it really easy. And I think that's great for new growers, also for experienced growers, and a lot of autoflower growers swear by these. So I think it's gonna be a really good thing to do together. And we've got 2 of them that we're gonna be putting in here. So I'll just set this down and we'll also show you the environment and we'll discuss electrical. I really want this to be a good series if you're new to learn every single detail. So if there's something, if you wanna post a question up here, we're gonna do a lot of FAQs. If there's something that you feel like I've glossed over or not really talked about, post it up in here. I want to make sure we cover every single detail so that if a new grower watches this, they're confident, they're learning all those skills. From electrical and IPM and fans and air movement, and we're going to talk about DLI and VPD and we'll get deep. But for today, I really just need to pop seeds and kind of talk about the plan. So if you're new, the auto pot, not only does that fabric pot go inside, it comes with a copper root blocker. And so now your roots won't grow into that sub-irrigated system, and that's how it works so well. So we'll show you that when we set it up. Today, I'm gonna grab that dome and I'm gonna pop the seeds, but I wanted to discuss the rest of season 6. So season 6, I was asking on social media, kind of drew out a plan and said, what should we do? What seeds should we pop? And we're not fully finalized yet, but it looks like in the 10x10, we're gonna run some of the Coot by the Funk seeds that we made in the 4x4. I think what we're actually gonna do is run the grassroots bed in the new tray to grow. So that'll be exciting. That'll be in this quadrant, and we're gonna run the Duke Diamond seeds in there, the Dominion Seed Company. Yeah, so anyways, in the tray to grow, we're gonna run the Strawberry Deluxe, and those are the ones that we were talking about from a minute ago. So I was trying to think of when we're gonna release those, but really they're available. I'll post up about it as we go deeper into the 10x10 series if you wanted to pop those at the same time. Also check out our social media. A lot of times we'll mention that information there. And then over here, we were thinking about hand watering some grassroots fabric pots to really teach the basics. But what I mentioned earlier is that we wanted to do 2 4x4 runs to show you how we do it just like you would do instead of in a 10x10. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna run 2 grassroots after we do the 2 auto pots in here. And we're gonna do 2 photoperiod plants in here, maybe 4, probably 4, and we're gonna hand water. So just like you do at home, we'll fill this up with 4 15-gallon grassroots, we'll hand water, we'll do the entire living soil, BuildASoil away from scratch in this same tent when we're done with the autoflowers. Even though these autoflowers are gonna take a couple of months, we've still got a month before we're gonna start in the 10x10, and then we have a month where we have to, like 4 to 6 weeks where we're gonna sex those and then transplant. So I think this will seamlessly work together. And then I don't think we're gonna do anything in the front quadrant number 4. I was actually gonna run these 2 autoflowers there, and we decided just to move them into the 4x4 so it was more realistic for the home grower. So that's really the plan. We're gonna run the Coop by the Funk and the 4x4, the Strawberry Deluxe and the Tray to Grow. And then I'm thinking, we're not positive, but I'm thinking we're gonna either run the Dog's Breath or the Face Off Fancy Cakes cross from Orchid, and that will be in the, what are we gonna do? I think we're gonna do earth boxes. I'll put the final plan in writing and I'll share it with you, but I just wanted to share some of the progress that we've been making towards the 10x10 since this is the first episode. All right, let's pop some seeds, and then I will grab the camera and I'm gonna show you just the basic setup with what we're working with in here. Let's pop some seeds. It's always one of my favorite times. You can see on our social media, we're asking everybody which seeds to pop. When you have a collection, a lot of times you look at it and it just tears you apart because you gotta pick only 1 or 2 packs, and there's so many you wanna pop because of plant numbers. And so we all go through that, and for what it's worth, for the auto side, we've stuck with Daz. We think he's a great breeder, and I didn't always run autos. I'm more of a photoperiod guy, but he stepped up to the plate, and his seeds, in my opinion, are really good. So we're running the Strawberry Cheesequake. I'm gonna move this to the side, and I'm gonna grab my tray. So here I've got a couple things, just a humidity dome with some stickers on it, okay? I've got a 50 cell, which you don't even have to use this, but it keeps them from toppling over, right? You can put it just in a solo cup. You can put it in that orange tray that we use for cloning. Lots of ways to use these. And then this is our like Mondo super heavy duty tray. I really like these because you can carry them with one hand and they don't flex. So that's what's going in here. And you can see these pucks, they fit right in it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab each one. You can see it here. And here's the tray, right? And I'm just gonna put, I don't have to, they just fit in there perfect. I'm not gonna label them because they're all the same. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. These have that pre-drilled hole, so it's easy to put a clone into. I don't want the seed to fall way down in there. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna kind of break up the top a little bit to make sure that that hole's kind of gone, and now I can just plant a seed in there. Okay, so that's the only thing I'm gonna do different for planting seeds with these, is I'm just gonna smash them a little bit so that hole's gone. And my seed is sure to be at the depth that I want, which is pretty shallow. I don't want them so shallow they like spiral on top of the soil, but I don't want them like halfway in the bottom dying trying to get out. I'm not shaking them or anything, I just take them straight out of the water. This is like a paper material on here, so you could probably just rip it off, but there's no reason. The roots just go through it so easily. I think it's gonna be perfect for the autos. Now I've got my tray here. I've got them loaded up. I'm gonna put all 5 seeds in there right now, and then we're just gonna wrap up this video, and I will show you how well this whole system works. Then we're gonna talk about the environment, the grow light, the air movement, the humidity, the light intensity. We're gonna set up the auto pots. We're gonna discuss how to make sure they have enough food and all those things that you may be curious about, pH and living soil and just everything we've discussed. If you cannot wait, you can go back and watch 5 seasons of this that we've already done. But I think this one's unique. So I hope that you'd subscribe to this channel so that you can get the video updates. A lot of times they flag our content and you may not get that notification. So just go click subscribe right now while you're watching, and that'll make sure we get to stay in sync for the series. Otherwise, I've got my pack. I'll pop these seeds. So one of the things while I'm doing this is that I talked to Daz today, and there's some unique challenges when it comes to autoflowers. Like you don't want to stunt them at all. You don't want something that's easy to overwater. And we're gonna design an autoflower soil, and I'm gonna make it And we're working on a highly micronized, very fast available autoflower top dress that leverages enzymes and biology to immediately make the nutrients available so that you can target the autoflower for that growth. Sometimes you just don't know what you're getting. Sometimes you get one 3 times the size you thought, and you might need to top dress, and you need it available now. And we're gonna discuss some of those unique problems with autoflowers and the solution that we have, but it's not gonna be available. We're just gonna try it. We're gonna test it here. I'm sending some to Daz. If what we did doesn't work, we'll tell you that. If what we did works and it works well, we'll share the solution with you. We'll talk about it then, but this is just kind of the infancy. So when I grab a seed, I'm just putting it right on top right now. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna tamp them in a little bit. But right now I'm just lining them up. So each one has a seed just directly on top. And I should probably do a drawing, some whiteboard videos. But the seed normally looks like this. It has one part that's kind of slender at the top and one part that's formed. You can tell where it was made inside the plant. There's this, like the butt of the seed down there. And when the seed opens, it opens from the top like this. And so a lot of people think you need to plant it upside down so that it blasts out of the soil and opens its hat. But what happens is the seed hole stays on the seed usually. So what you want is the seed to turn over and the seed hole falls off. But I don't want it buried so deep that it has to completely 180 in there. So to make it easy, I normally just put the seed sideways and I push it straight into the soil deep enough. So now the seed grows out sideways and stands up, and it has a good chance of removing its seed hole that way. Now I did drop one seed right in here, but I'm doing it over the tray. Oh, it's right there. All right, I've almost lost a seed on video before. All right, so I'm just gonna put this one right on top. All right, now, rule of thumb for me, I'm gonna hold one of these up while I do it, is that you only wanna go about as deep as the seed, but that's pretty shallow and this cocoa is gonna lift pretty well. So I'm gonna go about a 1/4 inch deep. Ooh, a little moisture. And so you just really can't tell, but you can see the seed. I mean, it's barely just indented in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull some of the coconut coir from the side over the top there and cover it so none of the seed is exposed. And I think it's gonna really easily lift up through there. I'm gonna do all of them like that. So I'm just using my finger. I'm gonna push it in like a 1/4 inch deep. And then I'm gonna tuck some coconut coir around the top. All right, that's it. So I put the seeds in, I put the lid on. I'm actually gonna close the vents completely. And now I'm just not gonna touch it until they're 100% germinated. We'll show you, we'll document this. I'll take pictures on social media, so if you wanna follow on like Instagram or X or Facebook or whatever, we'll update with photos. I'm gonna set that right back there on top of the reservoir. That reservoir will be out of the tent when we're done, and I'm gonna grab the camera and show you what it looks like in here real quick. So let me grab the camera on the tripod, show you what we're working with. So we've got the AC Infinity tent. It's a Cloud Lab, it's a normal height. I'm gonna take this down and reinstall it and show you, but that's a 4-inch exhaust fan, and it's just right in there. And I'm gonna discuss it, because in the AC Infinity, you're gonna see everything above the light, but that takes too much of your height, and we'll discuss how I do that and why. I've also got their little oscillating fan, which moves air around, although it doesn't matter right now because we're in the dome. And then this is where the tray to grow. We're gonna have 2 of them. We're gonna move the reservoir out, and that's all that's gonna be in there. And then we're gonna have a trellis net to make sure that we do a great job of structuring them. And then those are where the seeds are gonna sit, directly underneath that High Grove Magnolia 4. And then there's the Autopot XXL from the last run. We were thinking about doing a no-till, but now that we're gonna try the autoflower specific soil, I think I'm gonna leave that to the side, and we're gonna do 2 different soils in here. So we'll see. Not totally finalized, but I will update you in the next video as our plans, so I can show you exactly what that looks like. You can even see that EcoWit in there from the last round where it detects the moisture level. Also, bucket and some EM5. We cleaned everything in here. We swept it, and then I used by hand, I soaked it with EM5 and hot water, and I basically mopped down everything and cleaned it up in here. And we suggest doing that. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna get this tent zipped up, and I'm gonna leave the light on low, and I'm gonna make sure those seeds all germinate. And then let me just set this camera down, and I appreciate you guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this first episode of season 6, where we kick off the 4x4 autoflower grow with Daz, and we're gonna use the Autopot system. If you've got questions about this, the Autopot, the tent, the seeds, any of that stuff, we wanna make sure we get your questions answered. We're gonna do plenty of FAQs this series. If you have suggestions for the rest of our 10x10, put it in there. Like usual, I want you to subscribe to this so we get more subscribers. It helps the algorithm, but it'll also notify you of the videos since we often get age restricted. And then give it a thumbs up, like it, helps as well. And just thank you so much for being a part of my life, for part of this series. When we started the very first one, I wasn't sure if anyone would actually watch it. We just did kind of social media pictures and short videos. And the fact that it's created this two-way street of communication and tons of growers learning these systems and lots of questions and new things that we get to try, it's been a really big part of my life. And so I really appreciate you watching and being a part of our community, being loyal to the soil. And until next time, I'll see you on the next BuildASoil YouTube video.